Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're taking a look at a very special deck from Nimble Mongoose. They posted this list the other day in my Discord, and I've definitely been curious to see how this one does. So this deck is going to be all about Birthing Ritual, and it's going to be a little bit light on the interaction. We only have 4 copies of Flare of Denial, 2 copies of Into the Floodmaw, and a copy of a Spell Pierce. Otherwise, we have 4 copies of Sink into Stupor, which is part of our land base. So I'm not really counting that too much, but it is definitely an option that we have in the deck. And the reason why we're playing 4 copies of Sink into Stupor is because we're playing 4 copies of Chrome Mox in the deck as well. So this deck is all about surprise. The most broken thing you can do with the Birthing Ritual is to get the Abhorrent Oculus out on the battlefield, but there's another card that could also win the game instantly if opponent doesn't expect it, and that is Harbinger of the Seas. This interaction with the Birthing Ritual is so broken. The moment the Birthing Ritual trigger happens and you have a 2-mana card on the battlefield, and if opponent doesn't realize what you're playing and doesn't pre-fetch their lands into basics, you can go straight into Harbinger of Seas and they can't even do anything about that. So it's very similar to the Abhorrent Oculus flipping a Harbinger. Flipping the Harbinger from an Oculus manifest creature also doesn't have any stack in the game, so you could at any point just flip it, and same goes for Birthing Ritual. If the Birthing Ritual happens, the Harbinger coming down on the battlefield has no stack, so that could just win you the game instantly. And like I mentioned before, this deck is also playing 4 copies of Chrome Mox as well, so watch out for those Harbinger of Seas coming out on turn 2, which could also get a lot of people and just winning the game straight up. So having said that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Thomas Special 3 to show you guys how the deck does, so let's hop on over. Alright. No Birthing Rituals. No Birthing Rituals. Might try to go for turn 2 Harbinger, I guess. That's probably the best card they could have gone there. So let's say I block this. They lose Oscillative Pride. Johnny transforms. That's not good. So we go Harbinger here. Okay. I think we might be able to block. Here. Okay. And then... Oh wow, okay, that's really good. Is it better to Birthing Ritual now, or just run out like Logi Archaeologist? Oh, we can't run out for Logi Archaeologist, my bad. Right? Three cards in the yard. So block, 6 cards. They're gonna plus. Block.
Don't test me.
Birthing Ritual. The best card we can get here is an Abhorrent Oculus. into the Flood Maw. I think we just bounced a Johnny. Right? Take the 6. And I think we just play Oculus, because this is like guaranteed. They could have a lightning bolt, so I'm not going to shock this in. Although I do have a flare. Right. I think we got them. All right. So we want 3 Stern Scoldings and Subtleties. Not sure about Pick Your Poison. What do we cut here? Oculus kind of wins the game, but I don't know. Maybe Brainstorm? Am I cutting Brainstorm? They probably have Orcish Bowmaster as well. But if I'm cutting Brainstorm, like, Tamio doesn't make sense either. Maybe a Spell Pierce. Into the Flood Maw was pretty good, but probably not good enough. 2 more cards. I think it might be Flare of Denial. Something like this. Alright, we got Birthing Ritual. Yeah, Flare of Denial. I'm not really sure what to do here. A Vexing Bauble. Sure. I think that's okay. And we'll attack. So I mean, do I want to go Trainer or Birthing Ritual? Because if they have a removal spell, I think it's just better to go Trainer here. Stern Scolding. That's gonna be good for next turn.
It's not perfect. We have
So last turn, opponent didn't have a 1-minute creature. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to play Birthing Ritual here. Attack. Alright. Like I said, the most powerful thing you can do with this deck is Birthing Ritual into Harbinger. Because nobody expects it. It's just too broken. They can't fetch. They have to preemptively fetch, right? They have to preemptively fetch. And now we even have a subtlety. I guess I have to play it now. In case I get an Oculus like this. It's just so broken. The ritual into the ritual into Harbinger is just so broken. I'm gonna let this slide. I thought they could have you know, potentially a basic into a removal spell. That's why I didn't block there. Alright, I think we won. Yep, GG's. Alright. So far the deck's feeling pretty good. Getting to our first birthing ritual seemed pretty decently okay, especially with the Chrome Mox and things like that, you know? Definitely we're doing some powerful things. Except when that happens, you know? So maybe what I should have done was I played the Phantasmal Shield Bag and then brainstorm into potentially top decking something for the Philology Archaeologist. I guess I want to brainstorm first. Okay, so they have a counter spell. Harbinger probably isn't very good against them. I'll play Thunder Trap. Force out a counter spell. All right. Philology Archaeologist. Okay, so we can go double the fun here. I'll play this out, and then they might mana drain. Spell Snare. I'll play this one out. Alright, we see our first birthing ritual. But we do need a Flare of Denial to actually set this up. There's a very good chance opponent has a mana drain in hand, right? Because opponent was thinking about whether or not to use a Spell Snare or mana drain there. So Harbinger was actually a very good draw because now we can wait. We can wait for a land and then we can play both of these at the same time. So the dream here is a land. Okay, no land. No land there. So I'm gonna play my own Tameo here. And then I'm gonna pass.
Curious. I must investigate this scroll further.
We just keep playing like one card at a time. Because they're not going to counter, right, with the birthing ritual face up. Although if they have a Flare of Denial right now with the Phantasmal Shield bag, that'd be kind of bad. Okay. I am going to hold on to this in case I draw another Chrome Mox. Baleful Strix. If I don't draw a land, I might just attack with the Tamio and then transform, maybe. So then they definitely have... Okay, so they definitely have a Flare of Denial then. So...
This will be a boon to my research.
Okay, this is definitely bad news.
I am
Definitely
not
bad
defenseless.
news. I might just try to draw then. Okay, we found a land. I'm going to try to resolve a Harbinger here. And then I'm going to try to resolve a Birthing Ritual. Oh my god. That is their third Flare of Denial. That is rough. That is actually rough. What are the chances? What are the chances, right? Another Flare of Denial. So now I think it's probably
Before you act.
okay to just go to next game. Right? I think we might just go to next game here. Because now they have like a counter spell as well. Ooh, that's a good one. That's actually a pretty good one. That's a really good one. So they let it transform.
I'll aid you. So focus on the fight. Violence is not the answer.
Okay. I am going to bounce the Tamio. They use Flare of Denial instead of using Mana Drain. What does that mean?
I am not.
So we can grab back the Flare into the Flood Maw again, right? So we got a lot of things we can do here. So let's see. I think we want to try to get a Flare of Denial of our own with this card. We haven't seen one, so pretty good chance we might see one. So they Mana Drain. I think we have to sacrifice our Birthing Ritual. I think we have to sacrifice our Birthing Ritual here. So we're gonna Birthing Ritual. And then we have to get... Oh, we had a Flare of Denial. Oh, wow. I just misplayed completely. Oh, no.
I
Oh,
highly
no.
recommend this
The misplays. Oh. Oh man. The misplays. The misplays. Okay, no way they have 4th Flare of Denial in their hand, right? Wait, opponent? 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 What was that? I think they actually might have had a Flare of Denial in their hand. I actually think so. But they just messed up. That is crazy.
Oh, I stayed up too late reading.
So they have a Flare of Denial. These last 2 cards are Flare of Denial. And... I mean, that's crazy, though, if they do have a Flare of Denial. Like, if they have another Flare of Denial, that would be absolutely wild. Okay. Okay, they don't have a Flare of Denial. We got the Oculus down. Another Oculus. What a game. What a game. That is insane. Okay, I don't know why they did that. Opponent goes to 1. Phantasmal Shield back. Into Trainer. Why did they play the Otawara? And why do they have an Otawara and a Mystic Sanctuary deck? Oh no. Everything just kind of spiraled out of control at the end. Oh my god. I'm gonna be honest with you. Into the Floodmaw has been amazing so far. Like, it bounced a Johnny transformed. And now Tamio. Oh my god. What a card. Okay, so we want the Veil of Summer in this matchup. Very, very good. Super powerful. And we don't want Subtlety. I don't think we want Vendilion Click when opponents like playing things like Bowmaster. I don't want to go down on any of my 2-mana cards because this is a Birthing Ritual deck. I think it has to be Brainstorm. Oh no. Oh no, opponent. The morals has fallen. After the last few turns, the morals have fallen all the way down and they're just gone. Alright. Mishra's Bubble. Into another Mishra's Bubble. Okay. Metallic Rebuke. Metallic Rebuke. We might be able to get them with the turn to Harbinger. Opponent shocks it in though. Looks like yeah, sure. Mana Drain me. Whoa. I guess they're gonna just Lightning Bolt it then. I'm guessing. Yep. I'm gonna Chrome Mox, Sing to Stupor, and then I'll probably just Brainstorm here. Expressive Iteration. Well, opponent better have a basic land here. Or a counter spell. Ooh, that could be a counter spell.
Stayed up too late reading. Again.
Okay, very funny. I'll topical land. I think I'm supposed to go Harbinger? And then into a Tameo?
Oh! How am I supposed to focus on only one project?
Yeah, we keep drawing Chrome Mox, which is not where you want to be. Yeah. I will say that's not where you want to be. Is this any permanent? It is. So they're gonna try to transform it. We're gonna try to do the same next turn. We are a bit behind compared to opponent's Tameo.
I'd rather avoid a fight.
But we do have
But
an
I'm not
attacker.
supposed to think before you act.
So yeah, there's that. Another land.
Stop interrupting my work.
Oh! Isn't that just better? Yeah, isn't that just better? Just having the abhorrent Oculus there.
Use your words.
So what is opponent's play here? You know, I shouldn't have actually exiled Sing to Stupor, by the way. Veil of Summer, really good against them. Spell Pierce seems decent. Maybe like two Stern Scoldings as well. I've been really liking Into the Flood Maw, by the way. I'll go down on Harbinger even though it kind of worked out. And I want to go down on Brainstorm and maybe a Subtlety. Like that. Alright. We got a Birthing Ritual and a Dream. It's good against like Tameo. This hand. Your hand is really good against Tameo. We could just resolve the Birthing Ritual here. Okay, birthing ritual resolved. Pretty good. Okay, Veil of Summer, not bad. So opponent has a counter spell mana. Oh, basic mountain. So our Harbinger not gonna be as good. I guess Philology Archaeologist into Veil of Summer. Draw a card. Since they only have one blue, right? So is it just better to Spell Pierce though? Can't be, right? I'm drawing a card. Okay, that was a very, very bad mill. Really bad mill. Okay, opponent. Thank you very much for the game. Not bad. Definitely not bad. Alright, let's check this out. Alright, looks pretty good. You got a dream with the birthing ritual. Would have been sick if we had like a 1-mana card here though. That would have been so crazy. Maybe I play the Philology Archaeologist because we have a Flare of Denial. We milled 2 of our Oculi. So I want to set up the Phantasmal Shield back before running out the Birthing Ritual. Because the most powerful thing you can do with this deck is getting to our 3-mana cards. Okay, so this is Show and Tell. This is a Show and Tell. Okay, we bricked. We drew all of our Abhorrent Oculus. What are the chances? Right? What are the chances? That is very unlucky. That is very, very unlucky. So we get a Harbinger down, so now this is like one of the most powerful things that can happen is getting the Harbinger down immediately like this when they have like fetch lands. Ooh, we might be able to just play Oculus here. Don't sacrifice. So they had another. Yikes. I think we lost this one. Double Show and Tell on the mana drain. What else do we want to play? Okay, so we want Disruptor Flute. I think that's about it. Do we want Surgical in this matchup? I mean, definitely no subtlety. Maybe I can see myself having a Vendilion click. I think I'm just going to get rid of Into the Flood Maw. If a show and tell lands, we lose the game, so let's give this a go. Okay. We can't play Birthing Ritual, but we can do a lot of things. Okay. Let's get the Tameo down.
If you need me, I'll be in the library.
I'll this away. Leave up a Spell Pierce. Okay, nice. This was a pretty nice draw. I should have actually manually tapped the Chrome Mox. So, nothing to get. Unfortunate. Oculus draw. So we have a Spell Pierce and a Dream, right? Spell Pierce and a Dream. Okay, Flare of Denial, very good draw. So we can get a Vendilion click here. Click, click, click. Oh, okay. I'm actually surprised they let that happen. I'm actually gonna take away Abrupt Decay. Because I want to protect the Birthing Ritual as much as possible. I'm actually surprised they let that happen. Might actually Spell Pierce this. And then we pass. Alright, so we got an Oculus to end the game very fast, or we can grab a Harbinger. I think we grab a Harbinger because we can just cast the Oculus. Right? Okay. Let's just draw and transform this Tameo. Plus,
I'll aid you. So, violence.
get a Philology Archaeologist. Spell Pierce. Yeah, I think we won. Nice. Let's do that again. So they're gonna get to their mana drain a little bit faster this time, which is gonna be the hard part. This hand is probably better than mulliganing to 5. That's a rough miss. Bowmaster. Didn't think Bowmaster would come out. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Bowmaster was definitely not in the list of things I expected for them to have. So we'll grab a birthing ritual. I basically have nothing at the moment. So this is not looking good. I might actually Vendilion click here. Maybe on opponent's like combat phase. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it here. Bargain, okay. And then we try to get the birthing ritual out. And hopefully we can get something here. Because our hand is looking pretty bad, right? So I think it's gonna be like a Veil of Summer coming out. Kind of expected. So I guess we don't want this. I do have a Singleton Stupor, but I feel like I don't think I can win. So I think I'm just gonna do this and try to get a Flare of Denial here. I think this might be over here. So we chump this, bounce it with the sink. It's kind of unfortunate that we're getting aggroed down by an Orcish Bowmaster. So we'll play the Abhorrent Oculus. Now that we have a drawn discard, I don't think we need to play a Singleton Stupor here. And I don't think I should be playing this because I get pinged for 2 more. That means if they have another Orcish Bowmaster, we lose the game, right? So I think we just pass. Okay, close game. Despite not drawing a single removal, single interaction spell. But we might just lose, honestly. There's a very good chance opponent has a show and tell here. Wow. I'm guessing they have another Bowmaster? If they're doing this? Is it a dig through time? Very weird sequencing, right? Very weird sequencing. All right. So that lands. We got a flare. I think I'm going to hold on to this Sink the Stupor. I think the single best card we can grab here is a Harbinger. And I'm gonna attack because, you know, we need to end the game. We need to end the game, right? Okay, so we did get a Harbinger here, which is pretty good. So we have 2 interaction spells to play around opponents' show and tell. And we have a blocker. I shouldn't have put the Flare of Denial in the graveyard. That's a mistake, because they could have a Surgical. Really, really close game, isn't it? So there's that show and tell. What do? I'm gonna have to sacrifice this Harbinger then, right? But then they could have a Veil of Summer. Ah, this is so... Alright. The problem is they could have a Veil of Summer. I think I have to, like, potentially top deck. Yeah, so we have to sacrifice the Oculus because they must have a Veil of Summer. This doesn't really do anything anymore. It didn't seem like they have a mana drain. Because if they had a mana drain, they would have used it, right? But they didn't. Naming another show and tell doesn't really do much either. Oh, why did it have to be a... So bad. So bad. So we didn't get Abhorrent Oculus here. Might be a wrap. Might be a wrap, honestly. Super close game. Super close game. But no dice. This doesn't really do anything. I think the Orcish Bowmaster, if I knew opponent was gonna play like Orcish Bowmaster, I would have played a little bit differently. Yeah, show and tell with Orcish Bowmasters. Right, GG's. Alright, so I went 4-2 with this deck. I lost a match to a misclick, which wasn't shown in the video. And I'll probably have the loss that I have against the show and tell at the very last video. So basically I'm gonna hit Mythic and then we're going to travel back in time and then show you guys that show and tell matchup. I think that show and tell match was pretty good. I didn't expect opponents to play a Bowmaster, so that was definitely a pilot error. And because opponent didn't have a combo, we might have actually won the game if I just played correctly and just play around Bowmasters and probably had a better chance. The other match that we lost, I didn't show because I had a very good turn with the Birthing Ritual into a Spell Pierce, but I accidentally clicked my own Birthing Ritual instead of my opponent's Mana Drain. That was a bit of a tilter there. Finally we lost some games. We lost some games. Could have definitely played a little bit better towards the end, and we might have actually had an even better score. So this deck was actually better than I thought. I thought it was gonna struggle against energy, and I think it will. However, against Mardu energy, this deck is pretty good because Harbinger of Seas and the Birthing Ritual combo is just so deadly. It's just so deadly because you can't respond to Harbinger coming out unless you fetch your fetch lands into basics beforehand. So this is a very powerful combo, and I think I got a lot of people with turn 2 Harbinger as well. I don't think people expected the Chrome Mox. So a fun thing to do is don't show your hands, right? So here's a mind game you can do. Since nobody plays this kind of deck, do not show your hands, right? Do not show what you have early, especially early. Like, there's no reason to play Chrome Mox on turn 1, especially if you have Harbinger of Seas on turn 2. The longer you hold with the Chrome Mox, the more option you're gonna get. However, that is a little bit weak to Thoughtseize, so just bear in mind, depending on the matchup, right? This is gonna be like a key piece to kind of like winning the game by catching an opponent off guard into, for example, Birthing Ritual or Harbinger. And especially like against like bunch of counterspell decks, the way you have to kind of play around, as you've seen from that one game that I played against an Esper Tempo deck. If you find something to play, just don't play it out just yet, because with the Chrome Mox, there's a very good chance you might like cheat out 2 cards per turn that opponent might not expect, right? So they're holding on to counterspell mana, right? They see that you only have 3 mana. Next turn comes around, you draw a land, right? And you have a Chrome Mox. Then you run a Harbinger of Seas out on the battlefield. Opponent's gonna counter that. And then you can run out Birthing Ritual. And then hopefully getting like Abhorrent Oculus or another Harbinger. And against other matchups like Show and Tell, getting the Harbinger down is so important because it turns off all of their lands into blue, which means you only have to worry about mana drain, which is pretty expensive. So, you know, post sideboard with the Veil of Summers, like you can still cast some Veil of Summers using Chrome Mox on Birthing Ritual, for example. So Veil of Summer, Spell Pierce, and Flare of Denial, you might be able to get them, even a Show and Tell deck. So yeah, very cool deck from Nimble Mongoose. I'm definitely getting like maybe like a tier 2 vibe from it. Definitely playable. Definitely can win, as you can see. You can definitely climb to Mythic. So yeah, that is gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye bye.